Hello again guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back once again to the Midnight Oil Racing League's GT7 Championship. This is round 7 of Season 3. So we are at Sardegna, I think it's Road Track A. Is it Layout A? Apologies if it's not, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Road or Layout A. Anyway, coming into this round, we've got a bit of a rundown through the standings before we go through the qualifying results. So Thomas changes at the top of the standings once again. Thomas now in the lead with 198 points. Too Fast, not far behind him though, 176 points. Only three points separates Too Fast and Ice with 173 points in third place. Mawson in fourth with 168. We've got Dan Bailey in fifth now with 142. Chuck is in sixth with 138. We've got Silent in seventh, that's Pickle, with 128. Blood Diamond in eighth with 111. Vexed is in ninth with 86. We've got Asbo in 10th with 85. Jerry is on 72 in 11th. Clutch is on 12. Is that the... That looks like the standings from last week. However, Danny on 5, Dirty Dubs yet to score any points. But we have obviously had qualifying, and the results after qualifying puts Wayne G on pole. Really strong position for Wayne G starting in that Dodge Viper. It is quite strong around here as well, so we'll have to see what happens there. Thomas in second place. We got Blood Diamond starting in third. Ice Chan starts in fourth. Dan Bailey in fifth. Vexed in sixth. Jerry starts in seventh. Clutch in eighth. Pickle in ninth. Asbo will start in 10th. And Mawson starts in 11th place. So a bad qualifying for Mawson. Let's see what he can do in the race. So we wait for the lights to illuminate. The klaxon sounds and they are off. And it looked like Vex getting a really good getaway from the start up to third already. Wayne G retains the lead. We've got Blood Diamond in second, so Vex made it up to third. But Ice Chan now on the inside there, trying to take the move away, or trying to take the position away, trying to go for a move. He's going to have to wait just a little longer. Couldn't quite get it done on that turn as Thomas manages to get a move done around the outside there of Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey's going to be on the inside though. Thomas still on the outside. Dan Bailey does finally tuck back in behind that Ferrari. So Thomas going for the mediums. We've seen him run the hards in the first stint a lot this season, but opting for the mediums in the first stint in this race. 2:25 minutes around Sardegna. And very close as we come up the hill. A little Ice Chand trying to have a sneaky look up the inside there on Vexed. Didn't quite manage to pull it off. Dan Bailey almost getting up the inside there of Thomas. I think maybe touching the barrier slightly, which slowed him down a little bit. Thomas though, however, still on the back of Ice Chand. Dan Bailey with about half a second or maybe even 8 tenths to Thomas in fifth. We have Jerry now in Dan Bailey, sorry, in sixth, Jerry in seventh. Clutch is there in 8th place, staying ahead of Pickle. Pickle looks like he had a moment back there in 9th in the Porsche. Then we have Asbo and Mawson having a little bit of a battle at the back of the field. I'm not entirely sure why these two are so far back. Are we going to see Mawson go for a move into turn 1? Asbo going a little bit defensive there, starting to cover off the inside line. Mawson though with the better exit does manage to move ahead momentarily. And no, he does, he gets his position sewn up, so Asbo going to have to work to try and retake 10th place now. Perhaps he can stick with Mawson though. Maybe Mawson can bring him onto the back of the field as a little Asbo almost going for a move there. Pickle now in 9th place. In fact, he was in 9th last time we checked, but still chasing down Clutch. There's a bit of a gap though. Clutch with a bit of breathing space now in the R8. He's got a little bit of a gap though to Jerry, who should still be picking up the slipstream of Thomas. Or back once again into the slip. Thomas trying to pressure Chand now. Chand all over the back of the Citroen of Vex. Vex makes an error. Is that going to give Chand the opportunity to get past? He does look for the inside now. And he does manage to get through. Vex manages to cover off the inside though. Thomas can't get past as yet. Are we going to see an answering move from Vex on Chand? He's very close, come through the final turn. Maybe a move into turn one. I'm sure Chand's probably going to have it covered off. So yeah, doesn't go for a move then. Coming under increasing pressure from the two cars behind though is Vexed from Thomas and Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey is well and truly back up under the wing of that Ferrari. And Jerry's still there as well. I suspect it's going to lose the position now to Thomas. Thomas tries to have a look around the outside, can't quite manage to make it happen. Has to sit in the wheel tracks for the minute. It looks like Vexed actually losing the toe now from Ice Chand. Maybe having another slight moment somewhere. And there we go, I think Thomas is going to have a look now up the inside. Almost manages to get the pass done. Vexed keeps fourth place though. And this left-hander is going to become a bit of a feature as the race goes on. So Ice Chand onto the back of Blood in third place. And you can still see Wayne G. So Wayne G not managing to create too much of a gap just yet. Blood Diamond doing a good job of keeping Chand behind in the GTR. So Wayne G in the Dodge Viper. What can he do here this evening? He has got a nice gap there, nice bit of breathing space. It's got to be around a second and a half over Jason in second place. So not giving anyone the toe at the moment. It does look like he's doing really well to conserve a bit of fuel, which will help him come the pit stop. And obviously it is 5 times fuel consumption and 5 times tyre wear this season. Which I think has meant everyone's not really been able to push as much as they might have liked. Everyone having to be conservative with their fuel. And Vex still stays ahead. Oh, bit of a moment there again through that left-hander. Thomas still unable to find his way through for the minute. Are we going to see a move come from Chan though on Jason ahead? I wonder if this is where we're going to see a move, maybe lap 5. Ice Chad with the fastest lap as well on lap 3, 142.9. And in the background there, Thomas does get a move done on Vex, up to 4th now for Thomas. Vex there in 5th place now. Dan Bailey not far off the back of him. Almost a bit of a moment there. Has managed to create a bit of breathing space back to Jerry in 7th though. Maybe Jerry's tyres starting to die a bit of a death. They're actually not doing too badly. And interestingly, so Dan Bailey opting for the softs. Jerry also opting for the softs. I think everybody else on the mediums in this first stint. So the soft's actually not helping out as much as I think Dan and Jerry would have liked. Still stuck in 6th and 7th. And the tyres coming to the end of their shelf life. No change at the front. So Blood Diamond, Wayne G still leading the race. Blood Diamond 2nd, Ice Chan 3rd, Thomas 4th, Vex now 5th. It looks like Vex actually managing to create a bit of distance between him and Dan Bailey. Maybe that is the soft starting to fade, starting to drop off a little bit. The mediums definitely are the better tyre at this stage. How long will Dan and Jerry decide to stay on that soft compound tyre? Clutch looks like he's starting to catch now in 8th place. Not as far back as he was last time we checked, I believe. Oh, Asbo with a bit of a moment there. Open the door once again to Mawson. Mawson moving back up into 10th. So these two seem to be swapping positions at the back. Still unable to get on to the rest of the field. Oh, and Thomas now with the fastest lap, a 1:42.7. Wayne G still leading the race by quite a margin now. Definitely got 2 or 3, maybe even 4 or 5 seconds over Blood Diamond. It's a shame we can't actually see the relative split. Something you can only get with the live races. For some reason it doesn't record it in the replay. And Blood Diamond seems like the pressure eased off a little bit from Ice Chan now. Ice Chan having to go a bit defensive now to Thomas. Thomas oh, as Blood Diamond maybe having a moment there. That's allowed Ice Chan to round his outside. He's going to be on the inside for this next left-hander, come up the hill. And Thomas manages to follow through as well. So Blood Diamond now down to 4th place. Losing 2 positions. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Oh. Can Blood Diamond manage to win back one of them positions, or is he just going to choose to sit behind? Maybe having a fuel save. Dan Bailey and Jerry Smiles are now into the pits, which releases Clutch up into 6th place. Will Pickle manages to get through. Will Mawson and Asbo, I think they'll manage to come through as well. Yes, they do. So up into 8th and 9th for Mawson and Asbo, but still yet to pit. Jerry and Dan Bailey still refueling their cars. Oh, and who's that? Thomas in the background, looking for the move against Ice Chan now. Looks around the outside, maybe trying to get the better exit here on the run to the hill. I think he'd probably do well to try and keep the pressure on and maybe go for the move. Come the hairpin. It's not quite a hairpin, is it? The sharp left-hander. Oh, nice Chan, managed to keep the position. Thomas a little bit offline there. Maybe trying to look for the switchback once again. Chan having to go defensive. Shows Thomas the long way round. Thomas has to just back off and sit back under the wing of the GTR. Blood Diamond coming back as well, looking racy once again. He's got one of them skimpy numbers and he's hauling ass after the two lads in front. Oh, Vex now into the pits. End of lap 8. Clutch follows him in. And there's a fair difference between the fuel as they go in, so I imagine Vex will have to put in more fuel. 11% for Clutch, 5% for Vexed. See Wayne G actually shifting up around the halfway mark on the odometer. The rev indicator. So Thomas managed to move up into second place, started to try and break a bit of a gap. We'll try and break the toe back to Chand. Chand has been looking quick all evening for the last 8 laps. Can he retake that position? Oh, Blood Diamond in the background there. Blood Diamond almost having a moment. He will surely be going into the pits end of this lap. I think all these guys will be. So is the overcut going to pay off? And yeah, all of them diving into the pits. I think Pickle will surely follow. Everybody showing the low fuel indicator. Vex has pit, as has Jerry, as has Dan. Dan losing the position to Jerry, so Jerry up to 8th place. Dan now down to 9th. We got Clutch there, who has also pit in 10th. Asbo some way off, down in 11th. Dan Bailey's managed to get back in the mix there. Wait, oh no, it was Mawson, wasn't it? Where's Mawson? Yeah, Mawson, sorry, has managed to get back into the mix. He was running around at the back, wasn't he, with Asbo a few laps ago. So the top 3 coming out ahead. So the overcut did work for them. And how much of a gap does Blood have over Vexed? He has got some margin, hasn't he? I think that's the extra fuel that Vex has had to take on board with the Citroen, or the GT by Citroen, being quite heavy on the fuel consumption. So Vex trying to create a bit of distance now between him and the Hyundai, driven by Jerry. Jerry has got a nice little bit of breathing space over Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey being hounded though by Clutch in that Audi R8. And Pickle a few seconds back. Oh, now we do see Mawson back with Asbo in 10th there. Asbo only a few tenths back, maybe 6 to 8 tenths at this stage. So Wayne G finally into the pits, end of lap 9. Is Ice Chand gonna come through? It looks like Wayne G, no, look at that margin that Wayne G has. That Dodge Viper, an absolute powerhouse around here. But Ice Chand is now back ahead of Thomas. So Thomas has managed to get past, but after the pit, looks like Chand may be taking on less fuel. But even if Thomas has overfueled, it's not lost him too much time. Still definitely picking up the slipstream from the GTR. And they have both created some distance now back to Blood Diamond in 4th place. So not having to worry about going defensive to Jason just yet is Thomas. Vexed has managed to create a bit of a gap now back to Jerry. It's got to be a couple of seconds back to Jerry. And they, oh, Clutch has managed to get past Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey down to 8th. Clutch is up to 7th place on the back of Jerry. Can he look to set a move up on the Hyundai driver? Oh, Dan Bailey with a little bit of a moment again. Just dipping 2 wheels onto the grass. Dan Bailey is losing a little bit of time now to the 2 cars ahead, as Clutch did look for a move at the inside, but the door just closed on him. Dan Bailey with a massive moment in the background, managed to keep that Mercedes going, but he has lost a couple of seconds now to Jerry and Clutch. Maybe just not feeling too confident on the mediums. Pickle has started to close the distance now. Mawson gaining a bit of breathing space over Asbo, but still unable to find the rest of the pack. And Wayne G having a bit of a lonely race. You can only just see the 2 cars behind, Ice Chand and Thomas coming into shot just then. Thomas still unable to find his way past the GTR. Oh no, Ice Chand! Ice! Having a massive moment there, massive snap of oversteer. He's going to have to duck back in behind the Ferrari. Can he pick up the slipstream again though? Maybe go for a, well, try and retake 2nd place. But that was a huge moment. Chand, I don't know how he didn't completely spin the car. That was absolutely lightning reflexes, but did lose some time there and lost the position to Thomas. Thomas now up into 2nd place. That was unlucky, Chand. Super unlucky. But GG's for not completely spinning the car out. Great reflexes. Blood Diamond. Has he got anything left in them softs? Can he try and close the distance to the top 3, or is he just going to settle 4th place? Not being challenged by anyone behind at the moment, but he can see the cars ahead, so hopefully that'll give him the confidence to close the gap. Vexed is trying his hardest to try and close the gap to Blood Diamond. He's pulled out even more time over the cars behind. But is it going to be too little too late? We're now 22, nearly 22 and a half minutes in. Lap 13, I think it was a 15 lap race. Jerry, the pressure off for the minute, managing to find a bit of a gap between him and the car behind, which is Clutch in the R8. Dan Bailey coming under increasing pressure though from Pickle. Pickle seems to do this as well. He seems to just come alive towards the end of the race. Maybe it's the low fuel. surely he's not going to go for a move around here. Ideally, he needs to just keep the pressure on, run that final turn, so he had a bit of a better toe come down the start finish. Maybe then he could go for an opportunity into turn 1. But he's going to have to continue to work on that gap. Looking for the outside around this left-hander. Grazes the barrier. Looks like he's kept the speed though, so not losing too much speed, even though he had that slight little graze with the barrier, slight little bump there. Will he have enough come down to this sharp, hard-braking left-hander? Down into first gear for the Porsche. Continues to pile on the pressure. Both nicely through that very tricky left-hander. So Wayne G moves through onto lap 15, as does Thomas, Ice Chan, Blood Diamond, Vexed. But I think yeah, that's the last lap there for the cars behind from 6th backwards. So Jerry Smiles finishing in 6th there. GG's Jerry. Clutch finishing in 7th. Pickle was 8th. Dan Bailey 9th. Molson is going to take 10th. Asbo. Oh, Asbo's out of fuel. Asbo. Oh no. Oh, dude. So yeah, Asbo's going to be trundling back to the pits now, or back to the start finish. No point in going to the pits. But run out of fuel there. So Wayne G. Wayne G still in the lead of the race. Thomas with a huge gap now over Ice Chand in 3rd place. Blood Diamond still holds that 4th. Vexed in 5th. Can Vex close the distance though? He has got a lot closer than he was before. I don't think he's going to be close enough though. Wayne G, too fast for you, or too fast for yous. Will take the checkered flag, gives Asbo a flyby there, takes 1st place and the win. Thomas is going to come home in 2nd place. GG Thomas. Ice Chan finishes on that 3rd step of the podium. GG Ice. Blood Diamond holds on to 4th. You can see Vex, he was getting really close at the end there. Vex takes 5th. As I say, Jerry Smiles was 6th, Clutch 7th, Pickle 8th, Dan Bailey 9th, Mawson 10th, and Asbo's 11th. Well, that was the first race, guys, anyway. Come back again for the second race. I will see you there. Good night.